Hi, I'm Christy Sepulveda-Burchett of Educate Advocate. I am the Executive Director there, and we have served families with children with special needs since 2010. I'm not on Facebook or any social media personally any longer. We have, for Educate Advocate, a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and an Instagram page. Educate Advocate has been active in opposing vaccine bills going back to AB 499 from 2011. We did AB 2109 from 2012, and then of course SB 277 in 2015. We actively worked against the home visiting bills and the Children's Bill of Rights, which was SB 18, as well as the companion bill SCR 41. We organized with Christina Hildebrand of A Voice for Choice Advocacy and others, and went up to Sacramento with a group of families to lobby for bills we supported and against bills we didn't in 2017, which was extremely successful and taught a lot. In 2017, we did many local legislator meetings on SB 18. In both December of 2017 and 2018, Christina Hildebrand of A Voice for Choice Advocacy and I went to Sacramento to meet with staffers and give them a bill package of bills we wanted them to sponsor. We were able to get one of the bills sponsored last year and two this year, both under the category of special needs. One of these bills is still active this year, AB 605. Shannon Primer, which is a board member of Educate Advocate and member of Empower Family California, is also helping with AB 605. Educate Advocate is and has been affiliated with many diverse coalitions, including California for SSI, the Landerman Coalition, and more. I personally have been on my school board. I'm chair of the IHSS Advisory Committee in my county, and I'm registered, not affiliated with a political party, though I have been registered a Democrat in the past. So that's a little bit about me and Educate Advocate. I wanted to go over some tips for meeting with legislators and their staff, things that we have found really useful and helpful. And this is an updated video because we did one in April and things have changed as the bill that we are looking at right now, SB 276, has evolved. So first, when you make an appointment with legislators or their staff, you need to decide who will be facilitating the meeting for the local meeting that you do. Facilitator would call the local office and ask who the scheduler is for that office, and you would need their email address. That person, the scheduler, is the gatekeeper for the staff and the legislator. You would send the scheduler an email requesting a meeting with the legislator or staff if the legislator is unavailable. You put in the email that you would like to discuss upcoming bills. If they have bills that you support or that you have common ground with, you may want to include that in your email request. You, of course, include that you are a constituent if you are, and then include any names of fellow constituents joining the meeting, or wait until a follow-up email to let them know others are joining. If you do not hear from them in a day or two, call the office and ask to speak with them and check that your email didn't go to their spam, which has been known to happen. Another tip that we have found really useful is to go to their events, sign up for their email list, and also call the office and find out when future events are. Go to their coffee mornings. Many of them during the month of August and so forth are doing health fairs, back to school types of fairs. Show up and talk to them and say that you would like a face-to-face with the legislator themselves. That is an effective strategy. In preparing for the meeting, besides having your talking points ready, you want to prepare for the meeting. The facilitator of the meeting should know who is attending the meeting and what specifically they will focus on when they speak, if they want to speak during the meeting. As the facilitator of the meeting, prepare an order of how the meeting will go, meaning the order of people speaking, at what specific points they will bring up, and how long they have to speak. Please note that some may think that you are bossy or label you this way, but this is how you have to have an effective meeting, which is what we want, so you will have to live with that label. You want to have a makeup of those attending the meeting that resembles the district as best you can, if at all possible. Also, if you can find someone nearby that has a medical exemption willing to go, that would be great. Especially if they received a medical exemption through a doctor who took insurance, who bills insurance. Do research on what issues appeal to your legislator. What is their self-interest? What bills have they done or recently introduced that you like and want to thank them for? When you open the meeting as a facilitator, bring this up as one of your first points. You want to find common ground as much as you can between you and your legislator or their staff representing them. For SB 276, look how the legislator you are seeing voted on during SB 277, if they were there, and see if they had issues, if they were in office with the medical exemption, and if they voted yes on SB 277, if they did so because the medical exemption was so broad. And while Senator Pan is authoring SB 276, we know currently that Senator Ben Allen, who was a co-author, he abstained on SB 276 in the Senate. It's always easier to know who you're meeting with, whether it's the staffers or the legislator beforehand. During meeting with staff, normally they take notes of what you're saying, they say very little, and it's very easy for everyone to go around the room and give their points. However, when you meet with a legislator, it can be like the Wild West, as things get brought up that you were not at all expecting, and conversations easily turn to other things that you were not expecting to address. Be prepared for that with legislators. Facilitator, try to make sure that you are on your toes and incorporate what they are saying with bringing forward the next point when you're able to keep it coming back to your talking points. Now I'm going to go into talking points, leave behind, and amendments. This is a new addition to where we are now. You will want to prepare a leave behind document, and you do not need to reinvent the wheel here, as a Voice for Choice advocacy has such a document. Now we are also at the point where we need to consider leaving behind amendment ideas. A Voice for Choice advocacy has created a document that outlines amendments. What I suggest is having a separate page where you list your asks of the legislator and any other relevant information you want to share with the legislator. All of the documents can be found on a Voice for Choice's website, and also we will have notes of what I'm saying here and on our website on Educate Advocate. But their website is avoiceforchoiceadvocacy.org/SB-276. Here are some suggestions for the outline that you would hand to staff or legislator. Number 1, decline to co-author SB 276. Number 2, oppose SB 276. And if cannot oppose, abstain from voting on SB 276. And number 3, a Voice for Choice advocacy amendments. If the legislator is with us, and there are legislators that may have influence with, especially new legislators, perhaps asking them to talk with those legislators that are on the fence. When you start the meeting, the facilitator would start the meeting thanking the legislator and the staffer for their time and their work. Bring up here the recent bill or area of interest that is in line with the group you are with. Bring talking points in whole or summarized to the staffer or legislator, and so it is a guide to help everyone follow along. This will also be one of the leave behinds for the legislator or staffer. Everyone in the room should have the handout so everyone is on the same page when going through the talking points. Your role as a facilitator is to line up who is speaking about each talking point so you know how to facilitate and transition the meeting. Let the group go around and do brief introductions, then go around the room sticking to your planned talking points in an orderly fashion. Keep an eye on the timing as best you can for each person to make sure they don't go off on a tangent, and you can help facilitate everyone's turn by trying to wait for a break or pause and then say something to the effect of, and now we're going to hear from so-and-so about so-and-so. When you end the meeting, you thank the staffer or legislator for their time. Be sure to get business cards from the staffer especially. Follow up. Always follow up with them after, thanking them again via email, sending them again all of the materials that you already provided to them in person. Question you don't know the answer to. If a question comes up and you don't know the answer to it, say you will follow up with the staffer or legislator and then do. Pitfalls. If you have someone go rogue, which can happen, and they start to go off on a tangent or start to dive into areas you didn't intend for them to go there, try as best you can to bring it back. This is an emotional topic, and for some, they truly find it difficult to speak rationally without emotional outbursts or going off on tangents about topics not relevant to your talking points for this specific bill we are addressing. If you are able to deal with these issues before a meeting, that's better. Maybe the individual that comes needs to just sit there and not speak and just represent being a constituent at the meeting if they're able to do that. Maybe this is not the forum that person can do well in, and they can choose to show their activism doing other things, like rallies or that kind of thing, protests. But it can happen that you don't expect it, and explosions happen in a meeting. Try to maneuver as best you can and transition to the next person. Subject areas to avoid. Would highly recommend re-litigating SB 277 as it won't help us. We lost that battle. This one with SB 276 is a new one with new issues. In short, making your meeting entirely about vaccines, vaccine injury, vaccine data is not the way to approach a meeting on SB 276. Now I want to go to specifically speaking to Democrat legislators. What appeals to the self-interest of a Democrat? Democrats' central theme is the state or government serving populations that need help or have been disenfranchised. This historically has included the following groups: special needs, the disability community, via regional center, in-home supportive services, Social Security, Medi-Cal, CalWorks, those kinds of programs in our state. The elderly, the low-income, poor, working class, those that many times are on Social Security that are on CalWorks. The LGBTQA community, the minority populations, single parents, oftentimes they're on the CalWorks program, Social Security program. Immigrant populations, they care about access, big word, to programs and services. They use that quite a bit, access. They care about the whole group as opposed to the individual. Historically, they have cared about freedom of speech and been opposed to censorship. They care about rights. It's normally better to use the phrase health rights in terms of, and that usually means for them abortion rights or universal health care rights. There are buzzwords that they do not respond to and don't recommend using them. Using words like fundamental or freedom. A better word to use there is rights. Liberty, constitutional. Instead of using the word parent, would use the word family, because again, that's about the whole, not just about the two parents in the family. It's about the whole family, including the children. Medical, would use the word health there instead. The golden rules are that we have to be perfect. The parents have to be perfect. The families have to be perfect. And we always need to look reasonable. We need to be reasonable in what we're requesting, what we're asking. I want to put it out there that I am willing to go as many local meetings as I can. I'm in the Southern California area. I can sit in support of you at the meeting or talk or whatever you need. Or if you just need some tips or further assistance, I'm willing to provide guidance there. My email address through Educate Advocate is educateadvocateca@educateadvocateca.com, and our phone number there is 909-285-4269. And I will be providing these notes that I've just gone over, and I hope they're helpful, and I hope they assist you. And thank you very much.